Hey you guys, welcome to our Friday afternoon live broadcast. Today's broadcast is all about our For Today's Aging community. So welcome if you are joining us. This is a time that Michael and I come together and really try to cover topics that are inclusive of everyone in our community. So that might be your spouse, maybe some family members, or maybe even some friends or co-workers who are you're trying to help convince to jump into this lifestyle with you. Michael, I think I just messed that up. Michael, fix that real quick. So today we are going to be talking about how to create a foundation of a healthy lifestyle that will stand the test of time. And so Michael and I are going to really emphasize some things that we have done in our relationship and some things that we've done in just our overall life that have really helped us to always ground ourselves when maybe things on the outside of a life or things that were out of control, out of our control, start to go awry, and how we always come back to our foundation and the things that we really designate as important to us and our whys to keep us on a healthy track. So we have been going through a lot of personal changes and professional changes as well over the course of the last several months. And this week has really hit us hard with the fact that, you know, we have our babies going back to school. Logan's back in college, and he has been living with us for like 6 months. So we've had him here every single day. Now he's just gone. Gabby's back to school, so we're missing her. And that means that we have a brand new schedule that we're running, which has really been taking like a physical and emotional toll on us as well. And how it is we're going back to our foundation to really adjust and develop new habits for our healthy lifestyle. You probably noticed there's been a lot of typos in my social media platforms the last couple of days, and I've just felt like really mentally and emotionally off. And I'll share with you, you guys, I know I've shared with you a lot in the past about how I adjust to those things and what I do, and we'll include that today as well. But before we get started, we always like to introduce ourselves. So my name is Diane.
And I'm Michael.
We are running a healthy lifestyle for ourselves and our family. We do a lot of that around the practice of intermittent fasting and developing a keto-like, so the principles of what living that lifestyle is without having to actually live a keto lifestyle, and how using nutrition to as a tool to help you look and feel your best as you're going through this aging process is so important for you as individual people, and not really following the masses and what they're doing. And we incorporate a lot of the other things in our life that we like to do here on this platform. But before we get started on today's topic, Michael wanted to share a little bit about his recent experience at the dentist. You guys hear me share a lot about what I have going on. And so we had some really cool stuff that just happened as a result of Michael's last dental appointment. So Michael, go ahead and share.
Well, sometimes healthy adjustments can be things that you don't even think about, but your teeth, in your mouth. I mean, like, I've always gone to the dentist. I've always tried to maintain, a healthy, dental hygiene. And, I don't think I was always doing the best job because I used to have that, the tartar buildup and all that. And that's with brushing, like, 2 or 3 times a day.
And flossing.
Mm-hmm. And I've always stayed on top of it. And like I said, I've always gone to the dentist. But sometimes if you make one little shift or one little adjustment in your health, and the adjustment that I made came from this one over here. She was using an electric toothbrush for how many years?
Oh, forever. Because I used to work in the dental industry, so.
Forever. Mm-hmm. So she had always been on me about, hey, you need to be using she even bought me one. I had it underneath my cabinet. I'm like, yeah, I'll use it. Yeah, thank you. I think it was a Christmas gift or something. Mm-hmm. I never used it. And then I started seeing her come back with these just perfect results after coming back from the dentist. I was like, wow, maybe I need to really try that. So about 6 months ago? Mm-hmm. 6 months ago, I pulled that thing out of the box, man, and I started using it. And my appointment yesterday, she said, wow, you hardly have any tartar buildup at all. And I said, could you do me a favor? Could you check the spacing? Because I guess I wasn't scheduled to have the spacing done. And I like knowing like what the spacing is, because the ones in the front, I'm usually pretty good. But back here, I usually can hit some 5s and 6s. And so she checked back here. She goes, oh, wow, you're a whole centimeter better in the back. And the other side's like practically normal. I'm like, whoa, okay. She said, well, keep doing what you're doing, and, keep your electric toothbrush, focused and concentrated on that area. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this. So the point of the matter is, like, sometimes just a small adjustment in your health can go a long way. And that was I considered a small adjustment, just pulling a toothbrush out of a box, and she had been hey, knucklehead, like, this really works, and I wasn't hearing it. And I went ahead and took her word for it, and I started using this electric toothbrush, and man, it really changed the game for my dental hygiene.
Well, and that goes to the whole thing about like what we like to share here, right? And the fact that, I've been sharing with you guys since I started intermittent fasting how even though I was using an electric toothbrush, my appointments have gotten so much better over time. And now, like, literally I go to the dentist and they're like, your teeth are perfect. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. There's no tartar buildup. You have no spacing issues, any of those kind of things. All those things we fear as we're aging, especially as women, because our hormones are changing so much. And if you've ever had a hormone change or lifestyle thing happen, it's because, when we go through those hormone changes of, giving birth, being pregnant, nursing, all those things, I've had these fluxes of problems with my dental hygiene, and it was all hormone related. So then as we age, we have those same problems occur, and we think, oh my gosh, we're going to have dentures at some point, or we're going to have gum disease kick in, or those type of things. And so we're proving that that's not the case, right? We're balancing out our hormones, we're changing our eating styles, and then we're also incorporating some intermittent fasting, and then you add in a toothbrush, and bam, you don't have to have those fears of losing your teeth or having these increasing dental expenses as you age, because you can take care of it at home. And so Michael now is convinced. We used the last dental appointment to this dental appointment, so a 6-month time frame, to really incorporate this change and make it a healthy lifestyle habit. And so now he is really diligent about it. And then what happens is you don't have to spend so much time and or money on what it is that should just be a natural thing. You should have healthy teeth. So I'm super happy for him.
And I was facing a challenge with impacted teeth, because I have all my wisdom teeth except for one I had taken out. The other three, they're too impacted. They said they're so far down into my jawbone that there's no way they would even attempt to take those wisdom teeth out. So my contacts are super tight. So with that, I mean, it's really tough to get back there and, like, really keep it clean. So that toothbrush has been a game changer.
So that's a win. So let's go to today's topic, and how to create a healthy lifestyle that lasts a lifetime. And so this is one of those things, even the toothbrush thing, like, it's super easy to kind of just change out a toothbrush. We have habits about brushing. You should brush in the morning, you should brush at night, maybe in the middle of the day. You should be flossing, you should be mouth washing, all those things. Well, we have the same healthy goal for ourselves, like we want to have healthy teeth. We've just changed some of the habits surrounding it so that we can ultimately reach our goal and incorporate some new things. And that's really how you create these things that last a lifetime. I also started today's video talking about how we are going through some crazy changes in our life. Life happens, right? And one of the big problems that people have, and a lot of the women have in this community, and men as well, is when life happens, everything goes out the door. Common sense, what works, and we get sucked into the emotional upset and those past behaviors that we have when things are emotionally out of control. And so Michael and I were having a conversation about this, and we were like, how is it that we always land on our feet? How is it that we always go back to what we know it works? And it's because we have this really strong foundation as individuals and as a couple and as a family about what healthy means to us. It doesn't mean perfect. It doesn't mean that we don't have those ups and downs. It doesn't mean we don't have those days where we're feeling a little bit off. It just means that when we feel pressed, or when we feel stressed, or when we feel like things are not the norm, we always go back to our foundation.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think you really have to learn to adjust and not, don't have the shifting things that are shifting in your life adjust you. You have to make an adjustment to the things that are shifting in your life. And I think oftentimes when things shift, like Diane said, common sense goes out the door. Everything just kind of goes out the door. And I mean, to give you a good example, I came home the other day and nobody was home. I mean, that's kind of been unheard of around here. Somebody, I mean, the dog, somebody's home. The dog was gone at daycare for the day. Diane was running errands. Gabby was at school, and I'm home alone. And I'm like thinking to myself, wow, I could pretty much do whatever I want right now. And working out just wasn't what I was thinking about doing. I mean, I was thinking about maybe kicking my feet up on the couch. We have this new couch that, you know, has these electric recliners on it. I'm like thinking, God, there's a, you know, I could scan some channels. I mean, I'm thinking all these things in my head. I'm like going, hey, fool, come on, you got to get back to reality. You got to go work out. I mean, because that's what my plan was for today. I mean, that can't go out the door because all of a sudden nobody's home.
Right. And so I think what happens too is when things in life change is we feel so ingrained to be perfect, or I have to do this, or I failed, or, you know, or our goals are so set in stone. And trust me, we have goals set in stone, but that you're so focused on that you fail to take the time to realize that maybe you just need a little grace and a little time. And so you guys know, if you've been following me on Instagram, like I've been posting every day this summer that I start my day on my patio with my book and my planner and my bottle of water, and I read and I plan my day and I drink my water out on the patio with the dog, and it's the perfect way to start my day, and that's my habit and my routine. Well, now I'm waking up at a completely different time, and I'm helping Gabby get her day started, and, you know, making sure she gets all the things that she needs to get off to school, and then I've got the dog to take care of, and some days I'm home by myself, and so I can't start my day on the patio anymore. But does that mean that reading's suddenly not important to me? No. Does that mean that starting my day with a bottle of water is not important to me? No. It just means that now I have to look at my schedule and then reevaluate where my priorities are, and then schedule things in just in different places. So I can't start my day the way I did 3 weeks ago, but that doesn't mean that all the things that are important to me have to go astray. It just means that I have to put them in a different place. And then what I always recommend is giving yourself some time to adjust to that. So to be completely frank and honest, I haven't read much this week because I haven't really found that time in my day yet that it works. And so does that mean that I'm not going to read again? No. It just means that I'm carrying my book around with me, and if I feel like reading, I'm going to read. And if I don't beat myself up for it, because I know I'm going to fall back into my foundation of knowing how important it is for me to keep my head in a book and to keep my thoughts positive. And so I think when it's an all or nothing approach to living a healthy lifestyle, it's easy to fall to the nothing because we're so stressed out by keeping up with the all. And sometimes you have to build in that happy medium and give yourself that time to readjust and reevaluate and maybe redefine what it is you're doing so it fits with your new lifestyle or your new schedule.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, like you're saying, like you mentioned before, that, you know, it's our foundation set in stone, but that doesn't mean that that stone is not going to get shaken up every now and then because there's some major change going on.
Right.
And I don't care how strong your goals are and how strong your foundation is, when everything shifts, you have to adjust.
Right.
And sometimes that's hard to do. I mean, for us, I mean, anybody, it's hard to do.
Right.
So you have to you just have to come to the realization that, yeah, I'm gonna make this adjustment, and I'm gonna adjust to the things that are going on and get back to where it is I want to be, to where my goal is, because you know, it's so easy to fall off. I mean, you got aging parents and kids in school, and kids, you know, they might have an issue. You got issues, you might have issues at work, issues with your business, and I mean, there's always going to be something that's going to come in that's going to rock your foundation.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, that's what can make your health slide, because you start doing practices that you thought you were eliminating, and you're going back to old ways and doing, you know, not working out, not eating right. And,
yeah. And so yesterday, I posted on Instagram that I had big plans for fasting this weekend, right? And I started my fast on, what's today, Wednesday at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I'm like, I can take advantage of these few extra hours, and I can do, you know, a 25 or 26 hour fast going into yesterday. And then our dog was at the groomer, so we had no dog, kids are gone, and we're like, let's have a day date. And so we decided to go out and have lunch and have a day date, which we don't get to do very often. And so I had to readjust and not be so hard about this time that I had preset for my fast. And I broke my fast at, oh my gosh, 24 hours instead of 26. And so I always like to teach, in my course as well, like when you're building a lifestyle around health, you have to make sure that your life priorities come first, right? And then the things you're doing with your fasting or your feasting or whatever, they have to accommodate your life, not the other way around. So it's so much easier to build intermittent fasting around the lifestyle that you like to live, that makes you happy, so you can do it for the duration of time, as opposed to overhauling your life so that you can start intermittent fasting. Trust me, that's going to end really quick, and it's going to end really bad. And we call those things diets, right? Where you sacrifice so much for a very short period of time, and then you realize it's not fun and it's totally not worth it, and you've given up your whole life. And so you say, oh, another thing I failed at. So what I really like to teach is create your healthy lifestyle around the lifestyle you already like to live. And like Michael says, you just tweak some things. So we fast. Like I was going to do my glucose ketone index work this week, where I really like to get myself into a nice state of ketosis, and I'm very careful about what I'm eating, and I measure things, and I test my blood, and I like to stay there for a few days. And then this amazing, really healthy restaurant opens up, where we had lunch yesterday, and while we were at lunch, we're like, oh my gosh, we have to come back on Friday night and bring Gabby. So there goes my plans to do my testing this weekend, which I am so happy to forego to have an amazing end of the first week of school celebration with our daughter. And that's a perfect example of staying with the foundation. We're going to totally go out and eat a really healthy meal. We're going to have a really amazing, happy, celebratory time with our daughter, which again is a priority for us. And I'll do it in a couple days when our lifestyle settles down and I can be a little bit more selfish. A lot of times we get caught up in that, oh no, I can't, I'm not allowed to go out to dinner. I'm not allowed to do this, or I can't do this. And you can only say that to yourself so many times before you're like, screw it. This is not fun. I want to live my life.
Yeah,
so,
then mentally you've fallen off.
Right.
Because you went out to dinner with family, you're like, oh, I blew it. So you go home like, well, I already blew it, so I might as well keep blowing it. And the next day I'm going to blow it because I blew it already. Well,
right.
No, you don't really have to. That's what I love about this lifestyle. Like, we don't ever feel like we blew it. We just made an adjustment and we made a shift, and that shift has us maybe somewhere else temporarily, but we're still living in that healthy mindset, and that so we're not too far off track,
right.
And we continue every day with what it is we do, and that allows us that flexibility, wouldn't you say, and the freedom to
totally.
go, hey, let's go out to lunch today. It's a perfect day to go out to lunch.
Yes.
So we don't get to do that very often in the middle of the day. So like, let's do it, and we have zero regrets about doing that.
Right. And so oftentimes we, and this is where I say, don't put yourself in such a tight box that you can't get yourself out of it, right? And we say this a lot about food too, like, there's no such thing as bad food. There's just food that's not working for you anymore, right? Or it doesn't work for you. So, for me, I talk a lot about how I love Mexican food and how I love my corn chips and salsa and I love my guacamole, but those things were making me sick. So now, instead of giving up what makes me happy when our family goes out to eat dinner, I found an alternative, and I just bring my own chips with me. And so again, that's that thing where you don't have to be an all or nothing. And it's super easy to build in some substitutions as long as the foundation of what you're doing is set in stone. And the foundation for us is always making sure that we have a lifestyle that we're living that allows us to look and feel our best. And the looking and feeling our best starts here, right? What goes on in our head and what we're saying to ourselves and how we're justifying what the decisions that we're making and how it is we're prioritizing the things that we say we value and how we make those exceptions based on how we want to look and feel. And looking doesn't necessarily mean the exterior aesthetics of you as a person. Looking is, how does your life look, right? Is it a hot mess? Are you constantly running ragged? Or do you have priorities set in place to make sure you're getting enough sleep? Are you watching the right things on TV? Are you coordinating a date with your spouse to make sure that you're staying connected and you have your time that you can have alone? And all of that is part of the look and feel. And we don't want to get that lost in, but it's a size jeans or it's a certain type of shirt that you wear. No, the look and feel of how you are going about your day and your life. How does your life look to you? And is that authentic? And are you making the choices that are going to let you be the true person that you want to be based on how it is that you say you want to live out your life? And we get giddy with excitement with all the amazing things that we have planned for our future. So that's how we want it to look. And the way our life's going to pan out for us over the next 10 or 15 or 20 years is based on how we're making the decisions today and how we're building that foundation moving forward. And we're just constantly stacking onto that foundation for us and how it is we want to move forward.
Yeah, and I don't know how many times you've done this before. Like you're thinking about some event coming up, and it's like a wedding coming up, and like, oh boy, I better lose weight for that wedding, or my high school reunion or college reunion's coming up. I better lose weight for that. Well, if you think about it, if you incorporate this lifestyle we live in, you can do that in reverse. I mean,
Right.
you can live your life, this healthy lifestyle, and you go, that wedding's coming up. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm going to go there and I'm going to enjoy myself, and like it's my best friend's wedding or whatever. I'm going to go there. I might, have some cocktails, and I might even eat a little cake or whatever. But we tend to like run our lives like opposite of the way it should be. It's like, well, this wedding's coming up. I'm gonna have to kill myself before the wedding, and then when the wedding comes, oh, that you're not gonna eat and celebrate at the wedding? Yeah, of course you are. Now you feel like you probably blew it after you've done all this weight loss and trying to be healthy and trying to lose weight up to the wedding time. Now you're gonna like party, and it's kind of counterintuitive of what it really should be.
Well, and that goes back to the diet mentality and the binge purge and all those things that a lot of people, they panic, right, to try to get themselves into a certain dress. Well, what if you're living every day healthy, and then you don't have to worry about, panicking into a dress or panicking into a suit, because every single day you're living your life so you can look and feel your best and live it authentically. And part of being authentic is not panicking and doing crash things in the 11th hour to look good for a 6-hour event, and then like Michael said, you're going to go back and then feel twice as bad the next day. So it all goes down to putting in the work on the front end. And Michael and I have done a lot of that with writing down what it is that we want our day to look like, and writing down how it is we want to age singularly and together, and writing out what we want for ourselves fitness wise and nutrition wise. And I don't want to be the wife that has to drive my husband to the doctor every day as he gets older, and I don't want him to do that for me. And we don't want our kids to be burdened. So a lot of what we're doing in the looking and feeling and authenticity is, how do we want to have our relationship with our kids as we age? And we don't want them to feel obligated to take care of us. So a lot of the decisions that we're making now, we're creating this foundation so that we're independent as we get older, and that we're not going to be reliant on our kids to make sure that we're okay. And so that's our responsibility to us and them, is that we're trying to stay healthy, and we're trying to stay as active and in the game as possible, so that we can have that lifestyle with them as well. So that's part of our foundation.
Yeah, and sometimes things like fitness, it fits a different goal for us now. Like before, I know, like I could tell you, like 10 years ago, my goal was, I just wanted to be, maybe even less than that, maybe 5 years ago, I wanted to be the biggest guy in the room. I wanted to lift weights and be strong and have muscle, and it's just more of a vanity, insecurity type of a deal, more than really being healthy. I mean, because if you really think about trying to be healthy at our age, 53 and 55, we want a different kind of healthy. Our healthy is, we want to push up off the ground. Like
if we fall down.
If we fall down, like if I think we're both healthy enough. If we fall down, we can get up right now. But what about 10 years from now? Are we going to be able to fall down and push ourselves up off the ground? Are we going to be brittle and breaking bones because we're not healthy?
Or run after grandkids.
Yeah, run after grandkids, or
carry our own luggage when we go on a cruise.
Yeah, like
right.
You've worked your whole life to retire and go on vacations, and you can't even carry your own suitcase. I mean, like, oh, okay, that didn't work out.
Right, or walk through the airport without having to get, aid or something like that. Like, those are all the things that those are our decision-making forefront on our mind, things every day. That's the foundation. The foundation is, how do we want things to be 10 years from now? Okay, well, we got to start making those decisions today. And so you don't want to live that all or nothing. You want to have a nice middle of the road approach to everything. No extremisms, no shoving yourself in such a tight box that it's that thing where it's like either you're completely failing or you're so successful and so extreme that no one wants to be around you, because we don't want to be those people either, right? And so just find a middle of the road place with a foundation that's solid, so when life happens, you have room to wiggle, and you have the space to take a break, and you have some time to give yourself some grace, so that if you don't feel like working out for 2 or 3 days, you're not panicking. You're gonna rest and fast longer, or take a day and feast really good, or whatever it is that you want to do, because you already have the boundaries there and you already have the foundation. And then what goes on up here in the dialogue in your head to yourself is going to be so much healthier because you've built in the wiggle room.
And sometimes I think when it comes to health and fitness, I mean, we all can lack a little bit of common sense. I mean, like if you think about, like, if you're 85 and you're hearing this video right now, like, think about it. Like, if you're 85 and you think, well, I could never work out, like, I'm 85 years old and like it's too late for me. Well, it's not.
It's not.
I mean, if you could imagine if you had a half a pound weight in each hand and you were doing that every day, I mean, common sense tells you you're going to be stronger. So if you got stronger after a week of, you know, half pound weights, 1 pound weights, and then up to 2 pound weights, and you were doing that, and 6 months later, wouldn't you be a younger person at that point? You know, you're going to have a completely different body from lifting 2 pound weights.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just common. It's just time and consistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're going through a season of life of change, like we are, give yourself some grace, build in a little bit of wiggle room, understand why it is. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more tired, or you're not able to get in all the things that you used to be able to get in. My days are completely different now. And so I'm not able to get in some of the things that were just so super routine for me. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It doesn't mean that those things aren't important to me. It means I have to take a step back, reevaluate where my priorities are falling now, and then build in a different schedule. And that is really how you will stay successful in creating a healthy lifestyle for yourself, or keeping your priorities in the right alignment, right? And so our family is always going to be one of our top priorities. And so I have to be available for our daughter when she's up and getting ready for her day. I don't want to be absent outside reading a book, but I'd rather spend some time with her and making sure she gets a fresh start to her day. Exercise is the same way. Nutrition is the same way. You don't want to miss all those special events in your family and friends' lives because you're fasting or you're eating a certain way. You just have to make accommodations for that, and just make sure that you are always the highest priority, so that you can go through your life looking and feeling your best and living it most authentically. And that goes for how you speak to yourself, how you think about your life, and then how you act it out. And then eventually that shows up in you as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so we talked about was Monday, how we were so excited about our YouTube channel reaching 50,000 subscribers, and it's still growing. So thank you guys for hanging out with us and hitting that subscribe button. We announced 2 winners on Monday, and then we have 2 winners from Wednesday, and we'll pick 2 from today that we'll announce next Monday as well. So Michael, I think I wrote them down in my handy dandy planner where I put everything here. So our winners from Wednesday's broadcast are Devon Joy. So Devon, make sure you send me an email so we can get your mailing address. We have something we want to send to you. You were a May 2019 grad. And then Jessica, she's from Texas, I know that. Jessica Warwichel, I think Michael has her name. She has not taken our course before, but we said we were going to pick non-course members as well. So you are also on our list. Michael will get your last name and we will announce that. Make sure you send me an email so we can get your mailing address, and then that way we can get you.
Jessica Warchal.
Warchal, W-A-R-C-H-A-L. Send me an email and I'll get you what it is that we're sending out as our free gift.
Arlington, Texas.
Yep. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go to Facebook really quick. I'll welcome everyone to answer any questions or comments, and then our YouTube Hangout will catch you in just a second. Diane Kramer is here. Suzanne Velasquez is here. Amanda, September 18 grad. Hello from New Mexico. I'm loving Atomic Habits. I read a few pages every morning before I get out of bed. I know I have to change up my schedule when I start work. Yeah, for sure. But as long as you have those habits as foundations, you just put them in a different place. So I'm super proud of you, Amanda. Teresa, Great topic. Thanks so much. Things have been off for me this week and I haven't felt great. I've gone back to the foundation of fasting longer so I can fast it out. Yeah,
Yep.
girlfriend,
Yep.
when in doubt, fast it out is what I always say. So I'm super proud of you for that. I've been doing a little bit of that myself. Can you share the restaurant name? Is it in South Lake? No, girlfriend, it's in Trophy Club. It's HG Supply Company.
Amazing.
They have a couple locations. There's one in Fort Worth. There's one in Greenville. There's one in Dallas. They just opened up one here in Trophy Club off the 114. And everything in there is vegan and gluten-free, and it's absolutely amazing. And the restaurant itself is just absolutely gorgeous. So if you and your husband get a chance, you should definitely pop in there.
Yeah, great.
I can't
great
say it's
spot.
exactly, well, no, Michael had an amazing dish that was really low carb even. But the exceptions to their things are a couple things have gluten and a couple things have dairy, but the majority of their menu is gluten-free and vegan, which is opposite of the norm. And so we were like, what? We love it. So make sure you stop in there. You will absolutely love it. And then Andy, excellent reminder that we can be flexible. This should fit out lifestyle. Yep, for sure. Yep. Kathleen, it's sunny in Detroit. Good for you, girlfriend. We're expecting, I think, thunderstorms here today. Letitia, hello. Eleanor, I'm a June 2018 grad. In order to have lunch with my kids, I'm only able to do 18:6 as opposed to 24, which I actually would prefer. Any ideas? Yeah, go have lunch with your kids and shorten up your fast, because there's other days that you can do things a little bit longer. So ebb and flow with your life for sure, and never miss an opportunity to go spend time with your kids at lunch because of a fasting window. And then there could be times that you could just take a bottle of water too and just sit with them and watch them enjoy their lunch, and you can just have conversation with them and their friends. So it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to eat, it just means that you're going to be present. That's the most important thing, emotionally and mentally present for your kids. I love to listen to all your important information. Oh, thanks so much, Letitia. I appreciate you. And then Chris, 10-hour road trip home from California. Totally enjoy listening to you both. Another positive with IF. No crumbs in the car. Exactly. Exactly. No lost French fries between the seats and stuff. So the great thing about being in a car is if you don't bring it, you don't buy it, and you don't accept it, you can't eat it. So just make sure you pack plenty of water for sure. So I'm super happy for you. And yes, you will have a clean car at the end of that road trip. Okay, over here to YouTube. Holly, hello. Jessica, hello. Danny, hello. Good to see you as well. Marion, thanks for catching us live. Anna, Marie, my husband is trying to get on this bandwagon, but when he falls off the wagon, I do too. Shame on me. I keep getting sucked into his bad habits. Yeah, that happens to us sometimes too. We're sometimes super supportive of each other, and then sometimes we're like, come to the dark side with me, and that's okay too. You know, again, it's not about perfection. And then if there's going to be times too where Michael wants to break his fast earlier than I do, and he asks me, hey, are you ready to break your fast? And there's some days I'm like, heck yeah, what the heck? And then there's other days I'm like, nah, I'd rather just fast longer. And he's like, okay, and he goes about his way. So and
it's important to know if it's gonna tempt her too much. Like if I make some gluten-free waffle with peanut butter on it, is that gonna mess you up right now?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm fine. Okay, then.
And he'll ask me that, because there's some days I'm weak too. So, and I appreciate that. And so what you want to make sure you're doing is not blaming or sabotaging your husband because you're not standing fast in what's important to you. So sometimes you have to just speak up and say, I would really appreciate it if you didn't pull me into that, because this is what's important to me. We've also had those conversations. So communication is key always in any relationship. Don't be afraid to express what it is that you say that you want for yourself. And then Shirley, thanks for joining with us. Real or Brenda, July and August 2019, loving this program. Fantastic, girlfriend. I'm so happy you're loving it, and it's something that you can do for the rest of your life for sure. This is the foundation, what we're establishing in our course. So I'm super happy for you. Nadia from Michigan, hoping to join your class in October. If you have one, we of course will have one in October, and we can't wait to have you. Susie, I think you were just throwing an extra word in there. Anna, this happened to me, totally lost the path. Okay, so here's the thing. The path didn't go anywhere, so you didn't lose the path. You just kind of like stepped off. The beautiful thing is you can step back on. So just make the decision to step back on the path. It's here for you. It's waiting for you, for sure. Sylvia, finally able to catch you live. Greetings from Germany, currently in the August class and pumped to start week 3. Oh, girlfriend, I'm super excited. Week 3 has to do with this topic right here, and not letting social and emotional pressures break you from what you say is important to you. So I'm super excited that you're still checking in with your class. Lori from North Dakota, June 2019 grad. I'm concerned about going through the very cold winters here. I am cold while fasting now. How do I adjust my feasting to North Dakota winters? Really cool sweaters, scarves, blankets. Like I just cover up, and just do the things that I need to do to keep myself warm. We have the same thing here in Texas.
Is she talking about the feasting though, part of it?
No, I think how do you get through a fasting window when you get you get the chills sometimes when you're fasting.
Oh.
Yeah. So, there's comfort food is a mindset. Comfort food is not a nutritional food category at all. So, you can do some things like we make, kale with sweet potatoes and we bake it in the oven to kind of warm up the house. We're going to make lots of soups.
Oh yeah, there's some excellent soups that we make
that you can stay on track. So, sometimes we use that comfort food thing, or the fact that it's winter and that we can put on our winter coat or whatever of body fat. We don't need to fall into those traps. It's all what we do to ourselves. So you can stick with this. It's fine. Just wear some socks, put on a sweater. I have tons of sweaters. I layer my clothes, put the house up a degree or two. You'll be fine. You'll be fine for sure. Carmen from West Virginia. Kathy, going to a pizza place tonight with my family, not sure what to eat. I guess salad and chicken wings, or I don't know, pizza. If you're, gluten's not that thing that's going to throw you off track. Have a salad with one slice of pizza. Put things on the pizza that are going to agree with you. Pull some of the cheese off if that's a problem. We have no problem. We always order the vegetarian pizzas with light cheese everywhere we go. And if we're with a group of people, dang it if our pizza isn't the first one everyone eats.
Yeah, and the gluten-free pizzas now are
really
great.
Good.
They're
yeah.
really good.
So ask them if they have a gluten-free option, and then just put some toppings on it that will agree with you. Ask for a vegetarian option or something like that, so you're not loaded down with a bunch of meats that maybe aren't going to agree with you. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with a salad. I would actually have a slice of pizza before I would have wings anywhere, because I wouldn't necessarily trust how they prepared their wings or where their chicken came from. So hopefully that helps. Liz, good to see you, girlfriend. Anna, it's easy to fall into nothing when we are trying to keep up with the all. Yep, for sure. Kimberly, do you just jump in or you gradually close your feasting window? No, I just jump in and out. Like I just decide when I listen to my hunger hormones, and when I'm ready to start my next fast, I start my next fast. But I do have a time frame, a window that I stick with, if that's what you're asking for sure. Patsy, now that summer break is over at our house, my prayer and meditation schedule is altered, but never giving that up. Just doing them at a different time. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And even when it's wintertime here, my favorite place to go to start my day is in the backyard, but it's cold as heck here in Texas. And so I was just telling Michael this morning.
We got outside heaters though.
And we got outside heaters, but it's still cold for this California girl. So I have to find a little cozy nook in my house. Maybe it's a time to create a place, right? So maybe it's time you move some furniture around and create a space for you to meditate inside. It has a nice little plant there, maybe, or you have a little candle that's non-soy that you can burn, and a nice little blanket to sit on, or create a space that is for this season. And I think sometimes that helps us get excited about the change and adapting some new ways of incorporating what's important to us as well. Liz, have to be really careful about eating out. Place I love just doesn't work for me now. The oil food cooked in must be wrong for me. Flexible but focused on what I eat and where. Yeah, Liz, so I ask questions. So I ask, what type of oil do you use in the kitchen before I order? And I make sure that they know exactly what it is. So oftentimes when you ask someone in a restaurant what type of oil is used in the kitchen, they're going to come back with a quick answer, which is vegetable oil. Soybean oil is a vegetable oil, so you want to make sure that they clearly define what kind of oil that is, and then you'll know how your body responds to different types of things. So if they come back saying, oh, it's a blend of soybean and something else, I don't eat anything that's fried or has oil on it. And then my recommendation always, and I talk about this in our course, is when you go into a restaurant, the menu is a guide to spark interest. It is not how you order. So I never ever order anything off a menu as it is stated on the menu. I always ask for what I want. So when you guys go out to eat, use the menu as a guide to spark interest in what it is you want to eat, and then arrange things to what will suit what it is you have going on with your life and your priorities, for sure. So Liz, hopefully that helps you there. I'm a no cheese, no this, no that, put this on the side, can I have this instead type of person. And I always warn the wait staff when we sit down, like, I have particular things, and they're always super cool. So you get what you ask for, and if you're really nice and polite to the food staff, which I know all of you are, then they'll give you what you want, because that's their jobs.
And you just give them a nice tip.
Yeah, that you have a good experience. Kathy, maybe they have gluten-free pizza. Yep, that's for sure. Kathy, hello from Colorado. My favorite benefit of IF is that I'm able to adapt to my lifestyle. There are so many opportunities to fall off and give up, but I'm able to make it work for me. There you go, Kathy.
Yep.
You're winning at that for sure. Anna Marie, wings and salad and scrape the toppings off the yummy pizza. Yeah, Coke. No Coke Zero? No, water. Just have water. You'd be better off having a glass of wine or a beer than you would be Coke Zero. So, and when in doubt, have a glass of water. Linda, May 2019 grad. I love IF and the keto-like lifestyle because I'm in control of what I eat, and I make decisions about what I eat to make me feel my best. It is empowering. It is super empowering. We should be able to ask for what we want and need in our life. And when we exercise that right, we are empowered, right? Because we're making choices that suit us, and we're not letting other people make choices for us that maybe don't suit us. So always live empowered, for sure. Lori, sharing this lifestyle with my family. My sister listened to your rebroadcast of Wednesday. It really resonated with her. She is diabetic and wants to quit dieting. Thanks for all you both do. Yeah, for sure. And have your sister reach out to us, for sure. We always love helping people, especially when they're in that state of wanting to create some changes that will really help them health and wellness wise for the long term. So thanks for sharing, for sure, Lori. Heidi from North Carolina, March 2018. Thanks for jumping on. Trish, please tell me if ketogenic will heal a hiatal hernia. I have no idea. I don't follow the ketogenic diet, so I can't really give any advice on that. Sally from San Diego, July graduate, needing to regroup and find the commitment I had in the July course. It's all about just making a decision. So what I would say, Sally, is rephrase that to I am committed today to get back to what I was doing in the July course, and just put the actions to the words that you just stated. So the fact that you publicly stated that means that you're ready. Now just rephrase it so your mindset and your brain creates the map to believe it, and then put your actions behind your words, for sure. Super easy to get back into, and you have lifetime access to your course. Go back and listen to the lessons in your course, for sure. And then Trish, I meant to say, will IF heal a hernia? I don't know. Intermittent fasting has the ability to heal so many things, but it's not just, there's certain things you have to do to get yourself to that point. So I would definitely do some research on that and see what you can find out, for sure. But in my experience as a coach with intermittent fasting, I'm shocked at all the things that intermittent fasting has been able to heal. Jamie, thanks for the reminder. Taking the August class, had a rough day yesterday, but fasted long again today. Planning on longer fast for the weekend. Good for you, girlfriend. You should come out Monday swinging, for sure. And Kimberly, my husband unknowingly did this when he decided he didn't want supper anymore. I now don't have to cook supper. Oh, you're lucky, for sure. That's an easy life. Jessica from Dayton, Ohio, currently taking the class and loving it. Forgot to say that earlier. No worries. Good to have you in class with us. And then Kimberly, I don't want to take supplements. Can I still do this program without supplements? I would say yes and no. What you would probably want to do is go to your doctor and get some blood work done to make sure you're not deficient in anything. And then the key when you don't want to take supplements is to make sure you have a nice variety of really whole plant-based type foods in your life to make sure that you're not going to be creating a deficiency anywhere. So yeah, you should be fine for sure, but I would just get that blood test done first. And then so glad I was able to listen to both of you on my drive home from work. Frederic, we're so glad too. Vanessa,
awesome.
From Morocco. Oh, good to have you with us, girlfriend. Thanks for tuning in. Pamela, love in your live chat. Your information about intermittent fasting is fantastic. I've learned so much. Keep up the fantastic work. Thanks, Pamela. We will, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Ava, any tips on controlling your hunger hormones? Yeah, you have to balance them out, and that's a process. We teach that the first week of our course. And then Cheryl, Fairly new to your channel, learning a lot as a woman of 60 and was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. My doctor suggested fasting 3 weeks in. It seems to be working. Yeah, that's what happened to me too. When I became a pre-diabetic, I jumped on the fasting train really quickly and was able to reverse it. So you're in the right place and you should be able to get that reversed, no problem. And then Chris, I think I did that. She's the one who's traveling and isn't going to have any crumbs in her car. So we appreciate you guys. We really love doing these conversations together. We know it's important to have people on your team and people in your court when you're trying to make healthy lifestyle changes. I don't know why these things seem to be not the norm, but the more of us that show up here, the more of us who are willing to create a foundation and be the examples for other, the more these lifestyle changes will become the norm, and the more we'll be able to create these healthy lifestyles, especially for us in this aging community. Super important to kind of change the trajectory of where we're expected to go and really prove that it can be a better and different way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
awesome.
All mindset.
I feel like the plastic factory I work in is causing toxins in my body. Is it still beneficial to do this if I am still in that environment? I would say yes. You want to create some protective mechanism. So if you're living in a toxic environment and it's your job and you can't change it for some reason, and then what you do outside of your job is toxic and unhealthy, you're double dosing in the bad. I would say if the environment that you're in is toxic, I would do everything you can when you're at work to protect yourself. Take all the protective measures, even if you're the odd person out, right? So wearing masks, wearing gloves, washing your hands, going outside when you have a break instead of sitting inside, like all of those things matter. Then when you come home, you should shower, drink a big bottle of mineralized water, make sure all the food that you're putting in your body is organic if you can, and as whole, raw, plant-based as you can, and see if you can offset some things. I would also do some research to see if you might be a really good candidate for some good supplementation that you can do to help your mitochondria, help keep your brain health, really good. Fasting heals all kinds of things. So even being in a fasted state when you're at work could prime your body to fight off some of those toxic things that maybe you can't control. So I would say when in doubt, fast it out for sure, and then make sure that in your feasting window, you're doing as much to rebuild what might be breaking down in your work environment. Yeah, so I would say yes, go healthy as much as you can. So we're going to call it a chat. It's almost 4 o'clock. It's time for us to go pick up our daughter from school. We love you guys. We appreciate you being here in this community. Michael and I are dedicated to showing up. Yeah, with this, bring your husbands, share this with as many people as you can. Like I said, the more empowered we are as an aging community, the more powerful it's going to be for the people before us, the people behind us, and the people that are amongst us.
Yeah,
for sure.
And thanks for all the comments about the episode we had about the screening, the heart screening and all that, and the calcium test, and how easy it is to get a calcium test, and I think if that helps one person out there, it's totally worth it. So check it out. I mean, like, if you can get screened, most of the times it's only like $100.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and we're gonna keep an eye on the correlation between Michael's new dental visits and what's happening with this calcium test, because he's dedicated to getting tested annually now. So we'll see if maybe there's an improvement on both sides of those things as well. So stay tuned. We announced the winners from Wednesday's broadcast today. We will try to reach out to you guys to make sure that you guys know you are the winners, and then we will pick 2 more from today to announce on Monday. We appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Fast long, feast well, and make sure you're training smart.
Have a good one.